Hello, Internet, and welcome to the feedback part of Indika. And what a game. Honestly, what a game. Um, I'm still totally what over. I made a bit of a break and get something to drink, and because I'm honest with you, I totally forgot to stay hydrated during the last parts I recorded. Um, and again, what a game. I appreciate games and also books from the grimdark genre that stick to their guts and don't give the reader, or in that case, player, not a happy ending. But and that is the side of me that is satisfied with how it went. Um, but like I said, in a world over way, satisfied and totally overwhelmed kind. And my theory here is, how do I put it? My theory here is that all the point stuff and all that is not really about, yeah, gaining points, but more like, yeah, her emotions and also that she really does hope that God will speak to her and fix her problems, and that she can have a miracle and maybe some salvation and redemption, of course. And I will stick to that I do genuinely think that she grieves, that she's grieving about Mirko, and that she is regretting what she did, and that she feels shame, a lot of shame, um, maybe for what she did to him, because she knew she would be married off and couldn't be with him. Maybe also shame because that that she stayed by his side when they were confronted by her dad. And I don't know, maybe nobody knows what would happen if um if Indika was actually really saying, yeah, I know him and I love him, because her dad didn't seem like a bad guy. Um, and but yeah, maybe he would have shot Mirko anyway, and maybe he would give them the money and start their life together, because maybe deep down he wanted his daughter to be happy. But I do think the ending means that she really hoped for a miracle, that she would have hoped the voices to vanish, that maybe she would stop seeing herself as a devil, as a demon, as something evil. Um, and yeah, that she would granted forgiveness by God, and maybe someone telling her that she did something right, and I don't know. Um, but maybe that when the Coudette opened and she saw that there was no miracle or holy energy or spirit inside, and she looked into a mirror, that it was simply her. It was her guilt, her grief, of course, and that only she can maybe learn to forgive herself as soon as she starts to accept what happened. And yeah, I'm still a bit speechless, to be honest, because and of course, to the shame thing, of course, she would feel shame because of what happened in the prison cell. Um, Although she doesn't need to, because clearly she is, in that case, a victim. Absolutely. And she also didn't deserve to be harassed and pushed around and outcasted by the other sisters. I mean, the nuns in that case with sisters. And maybe if she would have had an environment where she could, in peace, um, reflect about it, what happened, and also start to accept what happened, and yeah, um, start to recognize, of course, her guilt in terms of that she decided to pretend not knowing Mirko. Um, yeah. Um, I guess I mean I just talked 7 minutes right now, although I on one side I have the feeling that there's so much more to say, but on the other side I'm thinking that that sums it up pretty good. Um, and in terms of Ilya, I have really mixed feelings. I think where Indika in the end maybe managed to see that there's no miracle and that only she can start to accept what she did and start to heal from it and uh, stand up for it and admit it and also of course start to forgive herself for what happened. It's a big complex process, um, and a heavy process. And maybe Ilya hadn't that moment. Maybe until the end he hoped for his miracle. And instead of accepting the truth that there's no wonder cure for him and nothing that could have fixed his arm and also will not fix his amputated arm, maybe then he began to drink. And because he wanted to escape from that somehow. And as he didn't have a miracle thing, um, or a miraculous artifact to work towards, and maybe as some way of hope for himself to cling on, and that was gone now. And instead of, like I said, Indica seeing that now, and then seeing that there's no demon nor god, nothing of it, just herself. Um, then yeah, Ilya hadn't that, and he decided to drown and numb that with alcohol. I don't know what to think about what may have happened after that scene. One side, of course, wishes that Indica goes that long and still, of course, heavy way of starting to accept, admit, and stand up for it, and also for heal from it after that, and forgive herself after that. Um, and Ilya even starting to see that there's no miracle, nor God, nor no demon, and just him and his wound, and try to grow out of that, and try to grow out of that misery and pain, of course. And yeah, I on one side, I don't feel like I say enough for that. On the other side, I think sometimes it doesn't need much words to describe something that is so deep. And yeah, although the ending, when you see it like that, or simply like that, there, of course, it is anticlimactic. Um, but on the other side, I think the process that would follow would be a whole other game on its own. Um, so I think I can maybe sum it up um, with a sentence I heard quite a while back now at live action roleplay. You always play the most interesting time of a character. And that time could, of course, be the start of a journey or an adventure, the part or um, after starting adventuring and simply showing and acting through their most interesting adventures and events. And sometimes the end of a character. And I think you can apply that on Indika. Like, we don't witness her journey from the beginning towards fully the end, and when she is happy and healed. But we simply see and witness the time she needs to see and accept what happened, and then start to process it. And processing it and healing from it is something maybe that Indika has to do on her own without the player as a witness. Nonetheless, I would totally um, recommend the game to play. I don't regret it to play it, that I played it or bought. I'm happy to have Indika in my collection. And yeah, I think it's emotionally one of the heaviest and but also deepest and richest game I played so far. And I have played many games in my years. So yeah. Like always, let me know your opinion in the comments below. And thank you for joining me on that journey. And until then, bye.